What up, y'all? This your boy DC.
I'm Zach.
And we got the homie Yuki in the building. What up, what up, what up?
Baby, sweeter like candy, 'cause my heart is wasted. Can you give me what I want? Can you give me when I want it?
What's going on, y'all?
How's it going, man?
Good to be here. In a different room than you guys, but it's good to be here.
Oh yeah, man. Where you at?
I am in Raleigh, North Carolina at this very moment.
All right.
Probably
Nice.
won't be tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but today I am. So
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. So we're excited for you to be here. I want to dive into your story a little bit, get to know you a little bit more, so that the rest of the world can get to know you. Dive into some music questions and just have fun tonight.
yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
Let's go, Zach. What you got?
All right. So first question, I just want you to talk a little bit about yourself, how you started music production, just how you started out and how you got to where you are today.
That's a good question, man. Okay, so a long time ago when I was young, I was accepted into a film program. So it was instead of going to high school, I would go to an arts college, and I studied film there for the remainder of my high school years. And while I was there, I picked up making music because I wanted to make things for my short films. And we had this library that was too small, so I had to start kind of making my own stuff. And by that point, I had already listened to electronic music like Daft Punk and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But it was really until I met my friend Paul, and he was showing me some hip hop music. So he was showing me classic Kid Cudi or maybe some of the older Kanye West. And he showed me Jay Dilla and stuff of that nature. And then I just really enjoyed the sampling that came from hip hop. And I was like, I want to do some stuff like that. And it's kind of went from there. Got a APC 40. It came with a black version of Ableton. I don't know. It's I couldn't ever figure it out. And so I ended up getting this iPhone app and putting it on my computer somehow. I don't remember how I did it. And then I would record things on this app, but I could only use the mouse because it was only meant for touching. And then so I played the keyboard with the mouse for a little bit until I finally one day just learned Ableton. And,
Wow. Okay. So that was your first introduction to making beats and stuff.
Yeah. Which they're on SoundCloud somewhere, but I'm not gonna tell you the name of them. It's just out there. You'll have to find it one day.
So you named some pretty legendary artists. You know what I mean? That was your inspiration, and that's kind of what made you I can do this too.
It's more that was more of this seems really interesting and I want to learn how to do it kind of thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it was music that I listened to every day. Especially, the Kanye West sampling of Daft Punk. That was oh, music just kind of goes full circle. I need to learn how this all comes together, so.
Almost it's not bound by one specific thing.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Flows throughout the whole market.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then almost every other hip hop song or rap song or whatnot, it would have some kind of sample in it that I was I need to know what that is. So I would try to find the original sample, and then from there I'd find more cool music, and it's just that's just the beauty of it. That was the era of exploration. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You just go through that phase where you're just oh my god, wow. Everything blowing your mind.
100%. So you said you were making a bunch of different songs for your film projects. What type of music were you making for your film projects at that time?
At that time I was actually just trying to make simple scores.
Was it melodic stuff or beats?
Yeah, a little bit. My understanding of music theory at that point was so minuscule that I just kind of played by ear, whatever worked. And luckily I reflect on it back now and I'm okay, I was lucky I kind of had an ear at that time. So, but now it's totally different process. Then it was just trying to make something that felt right for the film.
So what do you use now then?
I use Ableton now. Ableton 10.
Okay.
It's so great. I love it so much.
What do you like about it?
Okay, it's probably what everybody doesn't like about it is what I like about it. I like I like that it's just bare. Like it just is gray off the bat. It's just nothing distracting me. It's just meant for me to write music.
You're not getting distracted by all the pretty colors.
Yeah, like, and I know that like people in Fruity Loops and stuff love that, and that's cool. That's all for you. I'm not one of those people who's like, no, man, you need to use this one. Like, it's whatever works for you. But that works for me because I'm ADD and I look around. You know what I mean?
So did you get into Ableton because that what you were talking about, that first thing that you were starting to play around with had like some kind of watered down version of Ableton?
Yes. So it was the phone. It was like a little phone app first, and then like I got that free version of Ableton. And it was honestly just by pure like this phone app isn't gonna work, and this looks like it's more pro. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna learn it. And then I asked people what they use, and a lot of people had Ableton, and learned from people that had Ableton. I wasn't meeting many other people that were using like Fruity Loops or Logic or what's it, the other one, Reason. I don't meet a ton of people who use that stuff though. Like the people who were doing like hip hop beats, I met a lot more who did Fruity Loops. So, yeah, but I mean, principles of making music stay the same pretty much across the board. It's just different kind of layouts and maybe a different process or something. But I mean, you know what you want. You just got to get in there somehow.
100%. Well, that's cool, man. You've come like a super long way from that point. I remember when I first moved to Atlanta, I actually went to a couple of your shows, and I was like, dude, this guy's a man. Like, this guy's DJing, like playing dope music. So how did you kind of like get to that point?
Okay, so
No, that's a big question.
man, it just seems like so long ago. Yeah, so I guess that journey started when I graduated high school. So that was 2013. I moved down to Charleston because I wanted to DJ more. I'm sorry, let me start this over. 2013, graduated high school. I started a wedding photography, videography, and DJing business. And for like the whole summer, I was just booked in DJing weddings, and really badly, by the way. Not good. I didn't do that great of a job at that point, and I kind of wish I could give those people their money back. But I learned. And then after that summer, I was like, I had made a good bit of money from doing it, to be honest with you. And I was like, I'm going to move to Charleston because my friend Paul, who I'd met in film class, we were doing the kind of same thing. We were kind of doing this. And I moved down there, 18 years old. And then me and his friend group, we started like playing like the college clubs and bars there. And that's like where I really learned DJing and like stage presence and like working with a crowd and like reading a crowd. That was like really where I got this like open format experience, and was really able to hone in on, you know, controlling energy in the room.
Okay.
And it was a great experience. There's a lot of DJs everywhere. I mean, you guys know more than anything. It's a very oversaturated thing. And at that time, I mean, that was like long ago, and it's still oversaturated even more today. So moved on from there, I moved up to Charlotte, and I started meeting people there. And I got more into like house music at this point. And I was still doing open format stuff, but kind of finding my way. I was just making beats here and there. I never really put out anything at this time. But I started falling more and more in love with house music, and kind of kept going from there. Is that like, you want the whole timeline?
Oh, no, dude, whatever, as much as you want to put in.
Yeah, I mean, after Charlotte, that was kind of at that point, like that's where, you know, I was always booked as an open format DJ, but never like as a artist. You know what I mean? It was like those kind of went hand in hand. I would play what I liked, but I also played like the open format. So it was a whole vibe, and I really enjoy it. Like I really enjoy doing that. Don't get me wrong; it's always fun to play stuff like that. But over the years, I mean, I kind of wanted to just do more of my artist thing, just
Yeah.
like play music that I really enjoy doing, and that's I started honing in on my craft between like the years of 2016 to really 2019.
Mhm.
I was just kind of watching tutorials all the time. I was trying to just hone in on that, like projects that I've put out now, like or that I'm going to put out now. I might have started them back in 2016, but I didn't want to put them out because it just wasn't ready.
Mm.
Right.
I mean, and like that's a huge mistake, in my opinion, is to put out something that has potential way too early, because then you can't really take it back that much. You know what I mean?
100%. There's this one artist that I heard on the radio a while back, and they're talking about how right when they started music, this is like a bigger artist too. I forget who it was. They're like, right when I started making music, I started putting stuff out, no matter how bad it was. And he's like, honestly, if I could go back, I would totally switch it up. So it sounds like you're on the right path for sure. When was like the big turning point when you like saw yourself like starting to do more of your own music and style for Yuki-San?
I was telling you this earlier. So I was always going by Yuki as to who I was, and I had to change part of the name for SEO purposes. This like I mean it's just a really common name, especially in the Japanese world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I put Yuki-san. You know, it's a term of respect for a name. It just so happens to be that there was room for it in the market, like iTunes and Spotify. But with that change, I just wanted to change up the whole thing. Oh my god, there was a noise in my hotel room.
Probably a ghost.
Did you hear that? That was weird. Okay. They're doing something crazy over there.
So I actually did some research and I looked up what Yuki meant, and it means snow.
Yeah.
And then San is like a form of like Mr. So would you also go
Yeah,
by
you can.
Mr.
Yeah.
Snow?
I mean, I guess so. You know.
Cool.
You can actually
Just on a one-on-one
put,
basis.
yeah, you can put San like for a female name too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more for like respect. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, it translates like that. So, but yeah, when we decided to bring the mask branding into it, I say we. I don't know who else I'm talking about. I'm talking about myself. I decided to do that. That was when I was like, okay, everything from this point on is gonna be music that I like. It's gonna be music that I want to release, and I just like I didn't want to do any more open format DJing as Yuki anymore. If someone wanted to book me as that, cool. But this was like, I wanted this to have more of a specific route.
So,
For things to go.
so what defined that route though? What was there like a certain like what Zach was asking, like turning point where like okay, like something clicks?
Well, I was working. I was working on this label at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing. I mean, anything in the world. I mean, I was doing A&R. I was doing most of the graphics. I shot some of the music videos for it. Whatever you could think of. And my partner, who was he had the capital for it. It just got really messy during this period, and I wasn't focusing on myself enough, and my investments towards that company were not coming to fruition. So he actually ended up passing away. And then after that time, I just took a lot more time to think about myself and what I wanted.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, well, I need to just do what I'm thinking in my head. I'm pretty sure I don't know if you guys were gonna ask me where the name comes from, but you are right. Yuki does mean snow. And I'd always really gone by that because of my cat, my old childhood cat. What people might not know about me is actually part of my family is Japanese.
Oh, no
And
way.
yes, I get that question all the time because they're like, you don't look Japanese, and I don't.
Yeah, I was wondering, dude, because I'm like,
Yeah, you know.
kind of look like my dude, and you got like all this Japanese culture within your brand. I was wondering what the purpose was. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and I don't blame people for asking me that at all. You know what I mean? But like, you know, if you saw my yeah, if you saw my cousins, like, you'd be like, you guys are not related.
No,
But,
okay.
but we are, and I grew up with them a lot, and they influenced me a lot. And we got my cat from them, and it was named Yuki. And I was always wondering as a kid, I was like, what does Yuki mean? And then my cousin would be like, it's snow, and
Was your white cat?
yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But he passed away, and like I was just thinking of like what to put a name to the project, and like that was it. I was like, I love that cat. I'm a big cat lover.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Good.
but then I was like, what does that mean? And then I was like, I want to make a visual thing that goes with this and whatnot. And I remember being in my my aunt's house, and they had like kabuki masks all over the walls. Stuff. And I remember always looking at those masks when I was young, and I was like, man, that like, you know, it creates an impact on you. You start remembering things, you know, when you're from childhood. And then like I was like, okay, kabuki mask, kabuki theater, you know, a dramatic presence. I was like, that just needs to be that. I can separate myself from that image and just put whatever creatively I want there, and I can just have my own personal life separate from that for the most part. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's super cool because like when you usually look at brands or like someone who's starting a brand, they just try to, you know, pick out things that they like and stuff like that. But it seems like with your brand, it actually like runs super deep within like your life and like your experiences, which is super cool.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Has some good meaning to it. You're just not like a little something more you mean like all these like artists nowadays is just like so cliche. So that's dope. I like it. And I'm a cat lover too, man. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, dude. Man, my love for cats goes, there's no words.
Yeah. I had a cat for many years. It was a little calico cat.
Oh yeah. Do you have a cat now?
No, I got a dog now, but
I'll buy you one.
Dogs are cool too.
yeah.
Yeah, how's your cat doing?
My cat's awesome.
Yeah.
My current cat, my girlfriend named him. His name is bibimbap, which is a Korean food dish that is also so delicious.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I guess
so-
that's a little. I guess a little background. You know that's a pretty common question I get from someone who wants to get to know it a little more, and they see me. You know, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, just let you know. So
Awesome, man. I noticed you also have like kind of like, especially on your social media and stuff, you have like a cyberpunk vibe. What do you do like for inspiration with that? Like how did you start in implementing that into like a Japanese style culture?
Well, I think those things have always really gone hand in hand, to be honest with you. If you look back into, you know, like the 1980s, like anime, I mean, you see a lot of futuristic or like retro future.
Like
design.
Akira in a way.
Yeah, like Akira, you know, like Ghost in the Shell, you know, the Gundam series, like all this has, you know, a lot of interesting, you
robotic,
know, futuristic design to it, which the influences for those things come from all over too. You know what I mean? I've always liked it a lot. I don't know. Now I can just say like that, just style just hits me somewhere cool. I just like it.
How does that impact your music though?
Well,
or does it impact your music?
I think it does, because I've been more peculiar about what I would release, because if I don't feel like it sounds like the aesthetic, then I probably wouldn't put it out under Yuki, to be real.
Okay.
Though I will say, like, the music I make, I feel it would be more of a futuristic type of music. I think techno and house music in general has that kind of like cutting edge feel to it.
Yeah.
You know, like in this future design, you have a lot of like sharp edges. You have a lot of sleek things, and I feel like the music itself is sleek and sharp and clean and perfected and meticulous. Um, so yeah, I mean, if I can think of what I would like visually brand Yuki as, if I think the sound that would fit it, then that's all that matters to me. You know what I mean? So
So it sounds like you have a really good like your awareness of like the branding and how everything needs that kind of like flow, right? It seems like you have a pretty good awareness of that. How important is that for other artists or producers or DJs to really understand the importance of like a brand and like having everything cohesive?
well, I guess you gotta ask yourself, like, what is your favorite brand, whether it be, you know, like a clothing brand, whether it be a music brand, like, you know, think to yourself who your favorite one is, and like just kind of analyze it for a second, and um, you know, think about what your favorite parts of those things are. In my experience as a fan of music, you know, the worst feeling is like when you like a brand or musician or something and you feel like they just completely go away from whatever you initially loved about them. Not to say that they don't have the right to do that, because they're their own creative individual. But I mean, you always kind of know that feeling. I mean, you know, it's like, have you guys like seen like Porter Robinson's Virtual Self?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's a perfect example of like Porter saying, you know, I want to do this project, but it needs to be branded differently. It doesn't need to be a Porter thing. And like that makes a lot of sense, because I feel like people really invest themselves in not only just the music or the aesthetic, but like the lifestyle in general that you put out. Um, so maybe it might be in like within fashion, you know what I mean? Like the ideal Yuki fan to me would dress similarly to the outfits that I would wear on stage. You know what I mean? You don't have to, but like that's what I would imagine the fan to look like, and in the community to look like, and to just kind of, if you were to be at one of my sets, like I make that with the intention of kind of putting your mindset into one of these like futuristic techno worlds or something.
Yeah, so it's a way to like bring your audience into the world during your performance.
Absolutely. Like some of the best concerts I've been to have been that way. You know what I mean? Like I went to like one of the original R.L. Grime concerts back in 2014.
Oh man.
And it was 7 moving lights in a triangle form, and then it was like a neon light of his like gravestone thing, and had R.L. Grime. It was just so him. It was minimalistic, but the way the lights were programmed and the music there, it all flowed together. It was undoubtedly his thing, his vibe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Does he still do that now, or does he still do that now, or did he like switch it up?
Well, at that time he wasn't as big as he is now, but like I mean, I did see him in 2018, and his live sets with his visuals and stuff still encapsulated what I felt like was an R.L. Grime vibe. It was just more like mainstream, hate to say that, but like it was more festival there, but it was still him. So no matter what, like if you were doing your thing, I mean, it'll translate. But yeah, I do think I think that's 1000% important, and I think the people that make it forever are those people who keep that in mind. But a lot of times you're kind of just doing it effortlessly for the most part. Like you kind of know. Like I think like Michael Jackson, like dude, he just had his look and his image like constantly. Like it was just him. He did
Like second.
It felt like he did what felt right. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, with Kanye, you know, even though his projects have been different, I still like feel his. I don't feel like it's terribly unoriginal or something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's just doing his thing, which kind of speaks through. Every album is kind of branded a little differently, but it's still Kanye.
So would you say like?
I feel like it's easy to tell when people aren't being true to themselves and they're putting something out that's not quite them. And like when you mention people like Kanye or Michael Jackson, like it was them. Like I think that's why their brand and their cachet was so high, because it was like authentic. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's yeah, that's dope. Being authentic is key. Is what you're saying, is that some advice that you would probably give other like producers and beat makers like that are up and coming?
I mean, how could you not give that advice? You know,
Right.
in a world of inauthenticity,
Right.
uh, in a world of like one person is trying to be the next person, I mean, the only way to stand out is by being yourself. I mean, that sounds so fucking cliche, but like if you think about it, how many people do you know? How many people do you know that are like trying to be the next Lil Peep? Or like how many people do you know that are trying to be the next fucking Marshmallow or something?
Well, that's a
You know, I mean,
problem
you
too.
see it, you see it time and time again. Like people they want to be that so bad that they don't understand that like they can just be whatever they are. You know, I
100%.
mean, I'm even guilty of it. You know what I mean? Like thinking that I need to just do what he does or what they do. You know what I mean?
Well, the
It's
problem with that too is it can also dilute those people's projects as well, because if you have 100 little peeps running around, like it's not going to be new anymore. You got to take what you have and create something new out of it,
for
and then
sure.
people will follow you more.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I would definitely. I don't regret not putting out music until I was ready. So that's the one thing I can say. You know, maybe do that. Like work on your music a lot. Don't put it out. Just reflect on it. I guess. You know, take
So
some.
what made you finally put it out then? Because I can hear artists saying, "Well, don't put it out," but then like, when do I put it out?
I think you could know. I mean, well, maybe some people don't. I definitely hear a lot of shitty music all the time. No, I mean, no offense, but it does happen. There's like 40,000 new songs a day. So, I mean, if you keep that in mind, like when you go show your music to like people who wouldn't listen to that kind of music, like show it to your mom. I don't
Mhm.
know, like show it to a teenager, show it to an old person, show it to everybody, see what they say. You know, just be open to it. And then especially be open, like send it to people humbly and respectfully, send it to people. Don't just send me a link, dude, but like, you
Yeah.
know, like
Like my track, bro,
respectfully
on
send it to
SoundCloud.
someone. Yeah, like send it to someone who is of great intelligence when it comes to your craft, and hopefully they'll give you some good feedback on it, and like take the fucking feedback.
Right.
You know, whether it comes, maybe you don't agree, maybe you do, just try it out. It wasn't until I sent my music off, you know, just to be critiqued by people that I knew who were better engineers and stuff. But a lot of times you know, the engineering is one thing, but the composition of a song, the arrangement of a song, that's where I see most people falling short.
Mm.
Really, you know what I mean? Like if you have a great idea for a song and you have it laid out, you send it to the right engineer, it's gonna be fine. But like an engineer can't make your song a better composition. You know what I mean? Like,
Where do you usually see that lacking?
mm,
I can
just like
I can tell you.
almost everywhere.
No, what I can see a lot of producers, and when composition is lacking, is I hear it a lot when it's like just a remake of a remake of a remake. Like, okay. For example, hip hop rap is based off sampling, like how you mentioned in the beginning, Yuki, like Kanye and everybody's sampling this and that, right? But how much would it suck or be watered down if everyone was sampling like the same song,
Mm.
right? You see what I'm saying? So what I hear, so like in composition, now I hear everyone using the same drum kit or the same 808 or like the same synth or whatever. You follow what I'm saying? So uh to me that kind of waters down the composition part of it. To me.
For sure. Yeah, and then I mean, and then on top of that, you know, maybe people just not educating themselves on like what it means to just make a good song. You know what I mean? Like maybe adding too much, adding too much is a problem in of itself.
Oh yeah.
There's so many things that go into making a good song, and still there can be good songs that I just don't like, but maybe they're just a good song still for someone else. But I mean, you should know. I mean, when your song, when you can play it in a mix, then it's probably good enough, right?
Oh, 100%. But like, if you're afraid to put it in a mix, and you can almost like noticeably or notice the difference from this song to that song, that's probably not a good thing.
I mean, and that goes into like just honing your craft as a producer. Like, how many times do you A and B, a reference mix, like when you produce? Like, for me, it's like all night. Like I'm like, all right, gotta make sure everything's good to go. But
yeah, and that's just owning your craft too, and not half-assing anything, and really just like taking the time to respect the hard work that you're doing. And some people they're like, okay, it's done. It happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they just gotta like if someone is that kind of person, what they need to do to make the next step, in my opinion, is just realize like people just aren't gonna take your shit seriously until you take your shit seriously.
Oh, I like it. That's it. That's the quote right there.
Yeah, I mean, that goes into everything, dude. You know what I mean? Like relationships, everything, Yeah, I mean, you gotta have some self-awareness to know when you're not doing it right, though. So it's a big one too.
What do you see? Do you see any major changes to the industry in the next even year with the whole situation going on with COVID and stuff?
I hope because maybe all the hustle and bustle is all down for a while. I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for people to just hear good music and to share good music like wholesomely, not all like in this like industry fashion where there's always a plan behind the scenes for it or something. But people are going to be listening to music more, so they're going to be getting through new releases more. They're going to be finding new music more. Hopefully like some of the cream rises, organically. I would like to see more organic discovery out here. I can't tell you, like recently on like Spotify Discover Weekly playlist, like I've been finding the coolest stuff, that I've never heard of before. And it takes me back to like those days where, I would go to a music blog or something and like find some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping this obsession with like, I hope the clout obsession goes away, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if it will, but like.
What do you mean by that?
In the past like 3 years or so, I would say I've met more people than not who like care more about being the next Lil Peep or the next this or that, or like always bragging about who they know, or I don't know, just
Name dropping and stuff like that.
Stuff. I don't know. It's not for me, I guess. That probably sounds cliche to say, but
No, it's tiring. You know what I mean? And in the same day, it's like at the same time, it's like I really don't care. Yeah. What about within the next year, or once this thing is all said and done, like festivals and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I think it's going to bankrupt a couple of them at least. So maybe there's going to be more market opportunity for smaller festivals to grow. Like, and maybe with those smaller festivals, it's not going to be such a monopoly of booking the same people over and over again. So maybe there's a room for renaissance in the age of music. I do think in electronic music, I think that the hyper focus on like big drops and like cookie cutter songs, I think that's gonna go away.
No
Mhm.
more rhythm.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be more focus on like songwriting, like in a sense of like, more genuine lyrics and structure. Maybe more on a breakdown. Like you guys heard of funky breakdown before? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like just when it's just like grooving,
groovy.
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
you're
Yeah.
just feeling good. Like maybe stuff like that will come back instead of like, and then it just like dies off, and it's just like one sweep. It's like, and you're just like, sitting there and you're
Eh,
like, yeah, it was a good drop, but like,
that's that sweet.
like
yeah. But I mean, there's some people who do it like phenomenally, across the board. I mean, maybe that's just my personal preference, but I do think some stuff like that is gonna come back. Like, um,
So you're hoping for just good music.
yeah, that's it. Just some music with some soul. That's it.
Yeah.
Like more soul in the music. Less like about being the next TikTok thing or something. I don't know, dude. Like, it's
Right. I'm with you 100%. Can I ask you a couple of nerdy kind of like technical questions? Can we dive into that a little bit?
yeah, let's go.
All right. All right. So you're an Ableton head. All right. So Zach works out of Ableton as well.
oh yeah.
I'm your Pro Tools Logic guy right here.
Oh,
All right. So favorite VST.
oh, man.
Or go to. Let's say go to VST.
Dude, vocal synth is so tight.
Okay. I like
love vocal synth. Yeah, I've been putting that like on all the vocalists I've been working on with lately. Yeah, it's so dope.
I haven't used vocal synth yet.
Bro.
Yeah, tell me about it. What is it?
Dude, I worked on this one like disco song. I wonder if it's on my computer somewhere. Can I play something?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Is that like, are you guys gonna be able to hear it?
yeah, I think so.
Dude, let me see. On here. I worked on
Zach really doesn't want you to play it, but I want you to play it. I
Oh
want
no, dude, I don't give a fuck. You do it.
to.
man, I can't I think it's on my hard drive. I don't have it on.
All right.
But
Send it
I
over.
made this like new disco thing, and like in the break and the bridge of the song, we did like this like vocoding stuff through it. It's like, I don't know, it just gave it that feel, man. I love that.
So do you like record vocals into it and you can like chop it up, or like how do you
so like it'll go on your vocal track, and you just add it, and the vocals will go into it like signal wise, and like it'll come out of it.
It kind of gives you that Daft Punk. Well, not really Daft Punk. But.
Well, you can do it for that. You can do it for like auto-tune stuff. I mean, it's very versatile. I mean, you can like, if you would just want it to have like a digital harmony all the way through, you could do that. I mean, you can set the key within it to like make sure the frequencies are correct for your key. It's pretty cool.
It sounds like a good like all-in-one vocal plugin.
It's pretty tight. I mean, it's nuts, dude.
How much is it?
I think right now Isotope has it on sale. I think they have like all their stuff on sale. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen lately, but like all the plug-in people have just been like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
go.
I know you're working right now, like,
Right. And that's how we feel here at Emix too, man. Like that's why we're trying to get on it. I mean, we know people are making more music now than ever before. So
yeah,
so
that's dope. That's so dope. I think it's so cool. I mean, that in itself goes in for more like self-discovery, and then some better music. Like maybe there's someone who like couldn't pay their internet bill this month and like made the coolest song because they weren't distracted by the internet or something. Like I don't know. Like trying to look at the positives of this.
Yeah, man.
So that's your go-to like vocal little secret tip right there.
Yeah, and then I love the drum bus, like in stock Ableton. Like was it like the drum bus rack, something like that.
Logic just got one of those too in their new update. What, it came out on the 6th?
Just came out earlier, like this week.
Yeah, man, dude. Logic is up with Ableton.
Hey, dude, I actually What are you saying? You work on Logic and what?
I produce in Logic and mix in Pro Tools.
Okay. Logic, I think, has the vocal tracking thing where you like, yeah, I like
Logic
that.
has everything now. Like this last update is like ridiculous. Like
It's
they
fine.
literally took like everyone's like signature like feature and then like combined it.
They took a lot of Abletons, dude. They have like the session view now. They have like slicing options for like sampling, and
Oh,
dude,
wow.
they have drum bus too. It's crazy.
Their warping and everything is
Okay.
is
The vocal tracking feature on Pro Tools is very nice. I will give you that. Like,
Yeah.
I wish that was an Ableton thing for
Mm.
sure. But I don't do a bunch of vocal tracking, so
right.
I don't know. You know.
Well, oh man, I was just about to ask. Oh, okay. So you were shouting out Isotope. Do you have a go-to manufacturer of like your third-party plugins?
I've really enjoyed their product line. I I have almost,
I have a lot of their stuff too. They're
yeah.
really really good. Yeah.
I mean, like with their their little portal, you know, your like computer portal is dope. I mean, for me to just kind of like quickly master something, at least just to test it out, like I think Ozone
Ozone.
is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, Ozone is powerful.
Even like what is it, like the Ozone Elements? They have the thing within it where you can just analyze your song and it will like quick master it.
Yeah, I mean, like I use it for referencing tracks. Okay. Now my friend Nick Avion,
Hmm.
he got me into using Span, and it's like loudness meter or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been using that for like getting just things correct and like leveled out right.
Mhm.
And since I've been using those, like things have been sounding a little more even and balanced off the gate. But I agree with you guys, man. Like sending it to someone else, getting that separate pair of ears, getting that separate, wisdom, there's nothing like it. So
Yeah.
I mean, they did, no one's paying me to say this, but if you're watching this, like you should hire these guys because they'll take care of you. And like on top of that, like it's just gonna save you time to make more. You know what I mean?
100%.
It can start to be like an assembly chain. Like let us work on the mix while you're already working on the next record. You know.
Dude, yeah. That way, like, I mean, of course, like I do like to do like a little mixing on the fly.
Mhm.
But as a whole, like bouncing into audio, sending it to you guys, making sure everything is crisp, like
Yeah.
recommending it, man. I mean, dude, you were talking about like what I think like people need to know.
Mhm.
What you need to know is that you need to, as much as a lot of people don't want to,
Mhm.
you should treat your music as a business because it is a business. So if that means, that means you need to keep your day job. Okay, like people need to keep their fucking day job. All right,
I
you
made
need to
that
stack
mistake.
your money. Stack your money, dude. However, okay, put money aside. Like put some in savings, bro. You're gonna need it. But then
Also, like reinvest too.
reinvest. But like, yeah,
That's
so
why
you
you got to
take
keep
some of that money and you put it back into your music. So, part of that is gonna be mix and master your shit. Put some money aside to advertise and market your
Mhm.
songs. You know what I mean? Because like, no one's gonna take you seriously until you take yourself seriously, and people know when you're doing it right or not doing it right. If you're not doing the full, release, plan for your releases, like how do you expect a label to take you seriously, or
right.
or the vocalist you want to work with to take you seriously?
Labels want to do minimal work right now anyway. They want you to do most of the work anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then people learn, well, if I'm doing all this work, why not just keep it in house? You know what I mean? Like, unless it's like a big, label or a big, like, maybe you sign a record and they have a marketing agreement or something, but like, you can do it.
You can literally do it. You just,
Yeah. All the tools are out there now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. Like you can spend like what, $40 a year on DistroKid and just,
yeah, it almost makes more sense to be independent because then you're not splitting all that money anyway with all the labels, and the copywriters, whoever, like.
I mean, I say this as someone, I just signed a record last week, but
Nice.
there was also another record that I was working with this vocalist, and he's like on some it's like I was making a pop song, so it's kind of different for this, and his label, just wanted to take a stupid amount of the song royalties.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I love this song, dude. I'm telling you, I love this song. I know that it's a hit. I know that it's a banger. And I had to straight up tell this guy, I was like, I can't sign this contract. I can't do it because
It didn't feel right. It
it
wasn't right.
because at the end of the day, whether it flopped or whether it succeeded, I would have seen nothing really. So, which like I hate to bring the business side into it, but I was like, no, don't sell yourself short. But like then this record that I signed last week, like the relationship with them told me, like it expressed to me they care about this song. I know that they're going to market it just as hard as I am. The A&R was that, like, I personally knew him a little bit, and that was okay. I was cool with that, like I know that they're going to take care of it like I will. But like if someone else is not going to do as good of a job as you, then what is the point?
Yeah.
What is the point? Just to tell someone, oh, I signed this to a label? Big whoop to fucking do.
Yeah.
There's people who signed to fucking Universal, Warner, like, and they're shit out of luck for like the rest of their lives. It doesn't fucking matter who you sign with. It matters like how much you're doing a favor to yourself, or how good are you treating yourself in your art.
100%.
Yeah, you got some real good advice for up and coming like creatives out there. I mean, basically, 1, be yourself, don't be a carbon copy, right? 2, get your business in order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I mean,
it is a business. Recognize that it is a business, right? So yeah, that's cool. And then the importance of not cheating your craft. Like, don't half-ass it. You know what I mean? Put it out when it's time for it to be put out. Get other ears on it. Like, don't be scared to take constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, like, all those are like key points that I think a lot of artists are gonna be able to take away. That's dope,
man. I mean, and a lot of this stuff I've learned from other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the thing about knowledge, is it's never just from one person. It's just like
passed on,
thing, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Community is important, but like your direct company is more important than anything. Like keeping good people around, that'll improve everything.
So we need an eMix exclusive here. So I know your whole name thing was always a topic of discussion on like what is that about, but what is something else that your following, your fans really don't quite know about you that you can give them a little something here on eMix?
Let me see. There's a few things.
It can be personal, it can be music related, it can be whatever. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's something that I never talk to you about anybody. There's not something I talk about to no one.
Mm-hmm.
Really. For whatever reason, it is. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan, but I never find myself in the conversation. Is that I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan. Like,
oh yeah,
to the point where my video game purchases are almost exclusively Zelda things. To the point, also to the most extreme is that my YouTube recommendations is 90% Zelda.
Yeah.
Like walkthrough stuff. I mean, like it's stuff like it just relaxes me to watch people play Zelda.
Wow.
They have great music too in Zelda.
Don't get me started on that.
What's the waterfall song? You know that one?
Like
da 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 na 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 na. Right? Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's like, dude, oh,
Classic.
bro.
That's
Talk
crazy.
about talk about getting me into music. I think the Gerudo Desert theme from Ocarina of Time is like that was the first time I knew that I needed to download a piece of music and have it on a CD.
Hmm.
And that was like in 2001 when I was like 6. And I
Mm.
was playing the N64 and I was like, "Mom, I need this music. I want this on a CD. I want to listen to it in the car."
Have you ever remixed that song?
Nah, I couldn't touch it, man. I don't know. Like
Just wanted
Zelda.
to leave it in its purest form. Who
Well,
knows?
yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend about this earlier. Like, there's some things that like I just want to be a fan of, and just let me be a fan of. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause dude, like sometimes when you get too involved, it just loses the magic of it. But like, if you gotta let yourself be a fan of something. Like, just like look up to it. You know, like
But
whether like for me, it's like Miyazaki movies, Legend of Zelda, like a uh, Daft Punk, like stuff like that. Just, I'm gonna let it
Just
be.
like stay
I'm gonna let
here.
it like,
I'll enjoy you. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
be
man.
perfect the way you are. You know.
have you always been into video games or?
Um, I'm not a huge video game guy,
Okay.
but
So do
like
you,
in fact, like if I were to tell you how many hours a year I play video games, it'd be shockingly minimal.
right. No,
Relative.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. So you get more out of watching Zelda versus playing it?
I mean, either or.
Right.
It's like sometimes because these people make up like fan theories and like, or like they'll just like talk about one of the buildings in the game or something like because those games have an extreme amount of detail and
Yeah, they do.
nuance.
Yeah, they
So
do.
it kind of reminds me of like watching some of my favorite movies or something like the music, the imagery, the art, like everything's nice about it and it brings back like some nostalgia to me. So
Yeah, that's dope. That's
it's something that is beautiful to me as I can appreciate it. I don't know. And then like I'll play the game sometime. I'll be like, I'll go over to where they were and I'll be like, oh yeah, that is cool. I never noticed that before. You know, like so yeah.
well,
Yeah.
hey, y'all heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm a
Zelda
Zelda
fan.
fan. Yeah.
Biggest Zelda fan.
Yeah. I actually have a custom made outfit.
Stop.
You
Yeah.
cosplay?
Well, like a long time ago, I think it was when I was in high school, my it was my cousin, she's my Japanese cousin, and she was going down to Atlanta for AWA,
Hmm.
the anime convention, and she you know she cosplays and stuff. She like makes her own shit, and I was like, I want to do that. But what am I gonna do? And I was like, oh, I love Zelda. I'll just be Link from Legend of Zelda. And so I drew out this outfit, and my grandmother like sews,
Mhm.
and so we made this like custom outfit, and it was better than any other ones. I
Oh yeah.
swear.
You get a lot of pictures.
Somewhere I do.
Okay.
I
Oh,
still
like
have the
people
outfit.
like come up to you and want to like take pictures with you, or?
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah, it was dope. I had like a lot longer hair, it was blonde and stuff, whatever. So yeah, that was like a really wholesome experience. So I just keep it in the wholesome place in my life.
Here it is.
Why not? Everybody needs that, dude.
um, real quick, I wanted to talk to you about your remix that you did for Castor Embrace of Hecate. That's how
yeah.
you say it, right? It
Hecate,
recently,
yeah.
was it Hecate?
Hecate, yeah.
Yeah, man, that is a dope remix. Cause like originally his song was like a side trance slash like almost dubsteppy type feel. And then you
Yeah, it's
just
crazy.
completely flipped it almost into like a melodic, like the drop was techno, but it had like progressive melodic elements in it.
Oh yeah, with those like crazy loud high pitched synth stuffs.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, my favorite part about it is the techno drop, uh, high key. Um, but actually, so like the crazy high pitched synths were like part of the stems that he sent over to me.
Mm.
But like they weren't like built up upon like they were. Like the original wasn't as much of the focus, but like this one, I remember hearing those and I was like, I want that to be like a moment where you're just like,
Mhm.
like like really feeling it. And then we did like this Oh my God, what is that? Grain. We did like. I keep saying we. I don't know who I'm talking about. We.
It's always a we, bro.
I'm like inclusive, I guess. I mean, me and my kombucha, we did a grain delay effect on the build.
Yeah, I was
This was like
wondering how you
this was
did
like
that.
really weird, like just out of your mind feeling. And it kind of like the beat kind of feels different at that part, but that's okay in my opinion. And then we bring it back in with that vocal, and then it just goes straight into that like techno rolling like kick drop, and that's just what I wanted, and it happened. So I was happy it worked out the way it did.
So was that rise there's an element in the rise that almost sounds like glitchy computer like distortion coming through. It's like yeah, it's really hard to describe. I can't do it with my mouth. But
yeah, it was like automating that grain delay.
okay.
Thing.
So was
Yeah.
that an element from his song or did you make that?
Like the right before it hits the drop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was going from those like high pitched synths
Mm-hmm.
that were like really reverb, which were from the stems.
Mm,
But the grain delay section, that was my flavor on top of that.
I gotcha. Did you just like add like dry wet onto that as it like built up or?
It was, I forget, in the Ableton one, you know how it kind of looks like a square
Yeah.
map there? Yeah. So it was partially, there's a little bit of the dry wet, but it's more of the dry wet to like kind of fade it into that effect. But then the pitch of the grains, it was going down. So it was going from 0 to 12, negative 12. Um, and there was one more thing. I think it was the frequency of wherever the grain delay was. I think it was like fluctuating a little bit.
So it kind of brought it up like at a high frequency and kind of like started bringing it down to the ground.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
I remember listening to that thing over and over and over again. It was like back in January. And I was just like, I want this to feel like you're just kind of going out of body experience and then just come right back in, just
Oh yeah.
right back in.
You definitely get that feel from it, man.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. Yeah.
Is that like a trial and error type of deal, or like how do you get that?
I never done it before. I don't know. I was just like trying to, I guess, yeah, trial and error. I was like thinking of things that would be cool to go from that like loud reverb synth to like
Okay.
I was like, what? I don't know. I just thought I was like, what would be it? Like, what would I see in my head?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean,
That was it.
and then like the concept of embrace of Hecate, which is like, I think that's Greek mythology or something.
Mm.
They're all into that, like Castor and his.
What is Hecate?
I think it's like a succubus type of goddess.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So you saw the cover. It was like a rework of the original one.
yeah.
I guess that was Hecate. Yeah.
Is Castor the guy with like the it's almost like a skull with like horns? That's Castor, right? What's
Yep.
his brand? Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. He's
Kind of creepy.
Oh yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
They're doing a good job with his brand for sure. I
Is
really
that
like
from you?
I really like the guy behind it too. He's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the like dark imagery but nice guy thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's also dark imagery but like nice dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah. But they're really cool. Like they get all of the art so far. They've had this digital painter do their artwork, and so it was fun putting like my little touch on that as
That's
well.
cool.
So
So do you collaborate a lot?
well, I know them pretty well.
Okay.
Over the years. They've been working on that project for a while. And they've just started releasing what is it, like last summer?
No, really. Are they releasing individually or are they just like individual
Singles.
singles?
Yes, like singles right now. Which is good, dude. I recommend people putting out singles.
Yeah, that's like the way to go now, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Or like small EPs or something.
Yeah, if you really got something going like that, for sure. But yeah, I heard that song and I was like, I really like that synth portion. Let me do something. So it worked out.
Oh yeah.
I was happy to be a part of that. And that's definitely more the direction I'm going to go for some of my releases. Um, some of the projects I have working on, like they sound similar to that song, so we'll probably follow it up with something like that.
Sweet.
Good.
So, quick question: if you ever come up to like a point where you have like, not roadblock, what is it called?
Creative.
Creative block. Yeah. So like, if you have creative block, what are some things that you do to like overcome that?
Did I tell you about? I talked to you about the Discovery Weekly on Spotify,
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
and I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
Playlists are good, man. They open up your mind a lot.
Yes. A lot of times it'll be with that, or I sometimes like download new samples or something. I got this thing called Loop Cloud the other day. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like Splice but different. You can like do like loops inside of it and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
We'll do that, or maybe I'll listen to music that's not particularly like the genre that I'm making. So like, have you ever heard of like Toro and Moi?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
Yeah, like he's one of my favorites, dude. One of my Oh my god, and he slays it live too. But like, that's just like music that's not even like relevant to what I am doing. So sometimes I'll just go listen to music like that.
I've heard that a lot actually. I've listened to a couple of podcasts, and like that's like one of the biggest answers is like, don't just listen to the music that you're making, because you'll just be stuck in this like tiny little hole. If you listen to other music, you can grab pieces of that and like implement it into your music and create something that hasn't been created before.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to expand no matter what. Also, you guys on Pinterest? Pinterest?
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
fucking love Pinterest.
Dude, I like, especially, okay, like when I was studying film, we had to do like music videos and stuff. Like, I don't know. So one of our exercises was every week, we would like they would like choose a song, and we had to like write a synopsis on what we would do visually with that song.
Mm.
So for my whole life, it's always, been, like what do I visually see in this, or like if I see a visual, what do I sound like? What do I hear in this? You know what I mean? That's a pretty big thing. Over on my other computer over here, I just have like Pinterest pulled up with all kinds of mood boards and shit. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then uh when do you know you're in like a writer's block or a creative block?
um
Is something like give it away? Like, are you struggling to make something, or the few things
man,
you made recently just don't sound good, or
man, I feel writer's block. I feel like that's an interesting term because that is definitely the feeling. You feel blocked,
mm-hmm.
but it probably just means you need to work on something else.
Mm.
Like,
So stop trying to beat it like a dead horse.
yeah, like, I mean, dude, when I worked on that Castor remix, I mean, that's such a crazy techno song, right? But like, there was a point where I was working on that where I just was like, I'm not feeling this. But then I whipped out the keyboard and I started just like playing some different chords, and I actually made this like really chill, like house beat.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed making it, and then I made it in like a day. I made like the whole thing. I didn't put it anywhere, but like you just gotta work on something else. Maybe your just vibe needs to be different or something. Like, don't force it for sure, because it'll just sound like shit. You like you said, man. You know when someone's like being real with themselves or not. Like,
So one of my final questions, we're coming up on an hour and some change. So I just want to ask you, maybe just for the future, or maybe even present or even the past, have you, and if you haven't, who is one artist that you want to work with?
man,
If you haven't already worked with that, like one artist.
bro, I would love to work with Diplo.
Diplo.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about
Probably
Diplo?
like a million reasons why, but mostly because I remember listening to his Florida album back in the
Mm.
day.
Mm, love that one.
And then I just see how versatile he is as a businessman and a musician himself. So like I look up to that personally, you know what I mean? Like being able to be in a bunch of different creative spaces and like just it,
Mm-hmm.
some people like really hate on his music because it's too commercial, but I'm like, well, he does have that, but then he has this stuff over here that's like
Yeah.
crazy weird. Like I don't know, I admire that. It's just like it just seems like true creativity, whatever your opinions on him are, whatever. It's just like Kanye too. Like Kanye just kind of does stuff that he feels like, and I can tell that he's just doing him. So
Would you rather like work with him on a song, or would you rather go B2B with him?
I'd definitely much rather go like work with him on a song.
Nice.
Yeah. Though like I will say, you know, in my experience of working with people on songs, it's kind of like being in a relationship with them for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah. Like depending on like it's much better to work on a song in person in my opinion.
Mm.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like hard to have a long distance relationship. Kind of forget about it. You know, it's kind of like, oh well, it's there, but it's not. You know, but like when you're in the room together, you're sharing energy together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Kind
that,
of more.
and then you can kind of you get to know a lot about a person when you make music with them, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
great. I don't know. It's like making love with that person in a way.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, no matter how much you send files back and forth with each other, it's something about being in that same room.
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
I mean,
guarantee you the music will probably come out better if you're in if you're in the same room.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and then at the same time, like you kind of get to know whether you vibe with that person, like you know what I mean. And there's, damn, I don't know how much I want to say, but like there's definitely some collabs that like I don't know if we're gonna finish it up because it's just maybe we're not vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's like some people like it's just so organic that it's
Yeah.
oh, wow, you know, like oh shit, like that worked out really well.
So Diplo, I mean, you put it out there in the world. So now that it's out there,
Diplo, come work with Yuki-San.
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
be
like
that'll be dope.
we can just call ourselves like kombucha masters or something. I don't know, like
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got. Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, one last question. I don't know if we went over this, but if there's like one piece of advice that you could give future producers when, you know, either A, they're first starting or they're in the middle of their career, what advice would you give them? I know you gave a lot of like advice throughout, but like, what do you think is like the most important thing?
Don't do drugs. I mean that so heavy too. Like
I feel it, man.
Right. I mean, I'm not even joking. Like,
Yeah, no.
bro, like don't do drugs. Don't get caught up in
The party lifestyle.
yeah, don't get caught up in the party. Don't get caught up in like girls or dudes. You know what I mean? Like don't get caught up in anything that's gonna waste your time. Like, dude, if you really I mean, I'm only 25 and I feel like there's been some times where I've just wasted my time, you know? And I relatively have been pretty straight edge, you know, like for the most part. But I've realized over the years, you know, nothing's as important as like holding your family true, you know, keeping your finances in check, you know, keeping stability in your life as much as possible, you know, keeping love in your life, being honest with yourself and with others. I mean, like anything they would teach you that your parents would teach you or like say you need to do, you probably need to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you really care about something, then you will give it that level of commitment and respect. So, because if you don't give it that respect, then it's not gonna go anywhere, for sure. Leave the ego outside. Do what's best for yourself.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. Yuki, man, it was a pleasure, bro.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad this worked out too, man. Because I was like, you called me and I was like, ah, shit, I don't know. I was so busy, and then I was like coming up here. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be in the hotel, and then it just worked out. But it was meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
honestly, like, I met Zach. What is it? Like, we
I met
really
you
like hung
at,
out.
I met you at Way Gooder. We're like, it was Way Gooder's first like collective show, and you were like headlining it. But that's
But
when
then we really started like talking more at that Cymatics interview thing.
Oh
And
yeah, right. Yep.
yeah, didn't we just like, yeah, it's like, I mean, I don't know, like when you vibe with people, you just vibe with people, and
Yeah,
that
dude.
was cool. It
To be
was
honest, I was super nervous to like go up to him like, oh shit, dude, that's Yuki. I've seen him up on stage. Like, I'm gonna go talk to him. So honestly, the first time I talked to you, I was super nervous and like super relieved to know that you're super approachable and you're just like down to earth good guy, man.
appreciate that, dude. Yeah, you guys seem like you guys are doing great things. I love the energy always. So
Um,
Man.
and
yeah,
likewise, bro. Likewise, and stay you, stay true, stay busy.
I have one
And
more thing.
yeah.
Where can people find you?
Oh,
Social media?
where I think it's like always at Yuki-San Music.
Okay, cool.
I think I changed every at to that, like on everything.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
At
Well,
Yuki-San Music. Go check him out.
dude, and if they can find like my obscure SoundCloud stuff, that would be even funnier. If
So there's like some hidden gems out there.
dude, I have like 3 different side accounts with just random stuff
Oh, fuck yeah.
that I don't care about that much, but it's still cool to bump to. I was bumping to them earlier.
yeah, it's
Um,
just a chapter in your life. That's all.
yeah, dude. Oh, and if anybody wants to send me anything, inbox is open, man. Just let me know. Like I'm down to give you some constructive feedback anytime.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
There it is. Let's go.
All
All
right.
right, yeah. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and get some sleep.
You
And
too, brother.
hopefully I see you guys sometime soon
Hell yeah.
in person.
I know. We might
Yeah,
have
man.
another one of these in person. Like we'll do
Sick.
a artist spotlight with you in the studio.
Hey. All right, man. Well, take care, guys.
You too, brother. Have a great night.
I love.
Peace.